You know, as time goes on, technology seems to creep into more and more places, areas that you never really thought you wanted technology to be. But once it's there, it's kind of hard to go back. And that's, well, is exactly the situation I'm in right now. This is the Horow T38. And when they reached out to send this over and sponsor this video, I decided to give it a shot because this is a smart toilet. And even though you never thought you needed technology in your toilet, it kind of changes everything. Okay, so this is a smart toilet. And really what that means is that any feature you can think of that you would want in a toilet, this has it. So it is a toilet that does all the normal toilet stuff, but it also has some smart features that make actually using the toilet both easier and cleaner. So you're a little bit more sanitary in the bathroom, but it works extremely well. And everything they've done here is really well thought out. And when you order this and get it shipped to your house, everything comes like pre-assembled. It's ready to go. You just have to install it. I'll talk about installation in a second, but this is a real full-on toilet. So it's porcelain. It's really high quality. It's heavy. I had to drag this thing upstairs, which was not the most fun thing. I would not recommend doing that by yourself, but I didn't really have a choice. I made it work. But when you are using this, it feels like a high-end toilet. And there's a lot of things built in that really take it to the next step. And when you walk up to the toilet, the first thing you're going to notice is that, well, the seat automatically opens. This has auto opening for both the lid and the seat itself. So if you wanted to close the toilet altogether, well, when you walk away, it'll automatically close. When you walk back up, it'll automatically open. And if you need the seat to also raise, well, there's a button on the floor right next to your feet where you can, hit that with your foot, kick it, and it will lift the seat. Hit it again and it'll close them as well. So this is completely hands-free. Again, kind of going with that sanitary idea. You don't have to touch the toilet at all. You just use your feet and it opens that up. Now that alone is a really nice feature, but there's a lot more built in here. And the other thing you're going to notice when you walk up is that this has lighting, ambient lighting, and it also has a screen that kind of lets you know what the toilet is doing. In fact, this has emoji built in that will kind of wink at you, give you some eyes, and kind of look at you as you walk up to the toilet. Plus it will show you what the toilet is doing. Like if it's flushing, you'll see a little flush icon, or if the lid is opening or closing, it'll show you the lid closing. Plus it'll also show you the status of another feature, which is the heated seat. You can adjust the temperature of that seat. So when you sit down, if it's a nice cold morning, well, you're going to be feeling warmth. So I have it set to 102 degrees and it feels great. Now, once you've walked up, sat down, felt that warmth, and you're ready to, get on with your day, well, that brings us to my personal favorite feature, which is the bidet function. So this has a full-on bidet inside, which will be able to clean yourself really well. Bidets in America are kind of finally starting to get more and more popular, but really, when I was growing up, that wasn't even a thing. Somewhere in Europe or in Japan, those are very popular. They've been around forever. But here in the US, not so much. And really, if it ever comes up, I always say, you gotta get one of these things. It is so nice. And in this house, we just have never had one. But in the past, I have used other bidet systems like this. That's a full-on toilet with a bidet built in. And really, you get spoiled. But the issue with those, the all-in-one system is often, they cost multiple thousands of dollars. So if you wanted to replace your toilet for one of those, it's kind of a big expense. This from Horow, it gives you all that same experience, but it is at a fraction of a cost at around $1,000. Now, if you don't know what is a bidet, basically instead of using toilet paper to clean yourself up, you use water. So you click a button and a stream of water will pop out and spray you for as long as you'd like. And then that is how you clean yourself. If you think that sounds weird, I'm telling you, it is one of the best things out there. You feel so much more clean. It feels a lot more sanitary. It just makes a lot more sense. And this works really well. There's a bunch of different settings and all of this can be controlled through the wireless remote control. You just attach this to your wall and this gives you a bunch of settings. So you have pressure control, so how hard that water pressure is on your cleaning. It has control for rear wash or front wash if you want like a feminine wash. You can also control the temperature of the water. So no, this isn't cold water being blasted at you. This is nice hot water. And you can adjust the position of that stream. So wherever you're sitting, it hits perfectly. I don't know, when you talk about a bidet, it just sounds kind of funny, but it's really something you just can't go back from. Now, getting a bidet installed in your toilet is not necessarily the hardest thing. There's a lot of third-party companies out there that sell this attachment that you can just put on your existing toilet. But where this, I think, is a step above that system is that this has not only the bidet built in, but it also has an air dryer built in so that you're not just dripping everywhere. So once you're done with that bidet, you just hit the dryer and it will now blow warm air on you so that you don't have water dripping everywhere. And this means you can basically go hands-free for your bathroom process. You sit down, hit a few buttons, and you stand up. It makes it a lot cleaner, a lot more sanitary. It just is what it should be. Oh, and also it has automatic flushing. You can manually flush it if you want. There's a button on the side, which I've never used, or you can use it on the remote. But you don't even have to do that. You can just get up, walk away, and it'll automatically flush. So yeah, I mean, just from a convenience and sanitary perspective, this is what you'll want to have in your home. And I also think the toilet overall looks really good. It's a tankless toilet, so you don't have that tank on top, so it's very sleek and modern. It also has 4 different lighting modes around the edges, which look really great. Horow says this is inspired by different seasons, so you have a few blues, you have this amber. I think they look really good. Or if you'd like, you can turn them off altogether, but I think it adds a nice ambiance to your bathroom, especially at night. I no longer have to turn on my light when walking in because this kind of glows in the bathroom and makes it easy to see what I'm doing. Plus, inside the bowl, there's also another light there, so really you don't need to turn on the light at night at all. This has it covered for you. Plus, inside the bowl, it has a UV light, which helps kill germs, and it will do a pre-flush when you're using the toilet so that nothing sticks to the bowl. Like I said, this is really for that convenience, but also for that sanitary aspect. This toilet really does feel cleaner than your traditional toilet. It doesn't feel dirty like I feel like some other toilets might. Now, installation on this thing is fairly simple. If you've ever installed a toilet before, well, this is going to be no problem for you. But even if you haven't, I'd say you can still probably do this. But of course, if you're not confident, you don't think this is going to be something you can do, hire a plumber. Plumbing is one of those things that could get you in a lot of trouble if you don't do it right. Water damage is nothing you want to mess around with, but I still think you could do this. It's not that hard. Now, one thing you'll notice here is that my footage changes a bit because originally I was going to install this in my downstairs bathroom, which gets most traffic, so I thought it would make the most sense, but well, it just didn't fit there. The water supply was just slightly too close to where the toilet would sit, and because it comes out of the ground, it's really not that easy to move that. So instead, I brought it to our upstairs bathroom, and well, that's where it's sitting now. So first and foremost, before buying it, you're going to want to make sure that this will fit, and they give you the measurements to make sure it's going to be far enough from the back wall, that the flange is going to be in the right space. When I measured my downstairs bathroom, the numbers weren't working out, but I just wanted to try it. And well, it didn't work. But essentially, this is the same install as pretty much any other toilet. So you just take your, existing toilet off. You then have the flange in the floor, which is basically your drain. It can feel like a little bit of a gross process, mainly because this wax ring just looks horrible, but it's just wax. It's not that big of a deal, but you'll want to clean all of that up. And then Horow themselves will send you all of the equipment needed to install this if you didn't have any of this. So if you didn't have a flange installed, it was just a drain pipe, they give you that. Then on the back of the toilet, there are going to be 3 things you need to deal with. There are 2 water supply lines, and then there is 1 power cord. Because this is a smart toilet and a bidet, it's going to need power. So if this is like a newer build or a renovation, you'll want to find a place to install a plug really close, or like what I did, I just ran the cable around to a nearby plug. Worked just fine. But you just install the water supply line, everything you need is included, and you place the toilet down. And the last thing is screw it in from the side. That goes into those mounting points that you had on the toilet drain flange. And once it attaches there, toilet's not going anywhere. You're going to test it, flush it, make sure that the water is not leaking. As long as it's not, you're good to go. That's it. It's pretty simple. But like I said, if it's not something you feel you'll be comfortable doing, just hire a plumber. They could do it in probably an hour. Won't be an issue at all. And that way you know it's done right. Now, one thing that may be of concern is that this does use power, and because it's tankless, it's not using gravity to feed everything. It does need power in order to flush. So if the power goes out, that could be an issue. but they have thought of that. If you want to, you can purchase a battery that you install into the toilet itself. That way, if the power does go out, you can still flush and you're not going to have any issues with it. So yeah, when it comes to the features, actually using it, and even the installation, Horow did a great job here. And now that I have this, well, I'm looking at ways to make this work in my other bathroom. And I'll be doing that pretty soon, I think. It's a great product. If you're looking at getting a bidet, this is probably the first place I'd look. And for the price of, around $1,000, I think it's a great deal, especially if you look at a lot of the other competition out there. This is giving you basically the exact same features, maybe even more features with some of those lighting effects, but the price is excellent. So yeah, I'll leave links down below. You can check it out and see the best deals, learn more about it, and pick one up for yourself. But yeah, once you have one of these toilets, it's really hard to go back.